Hi folks, it's New Year's Day. We've got this Vauxhall Zafira 2.2 fuel model. It's not a diesel, and there's a fuel leak on it. Let's take a look at it. Right, so we've been smelling fuel on this Vauxhall Zafira. There's two possible causes inside the cab. One is a leak around a fuel cap, which I think Gary has actually replaced. And there's another possible fuel problem, which is located actually, and it's on the fuel line in the engine bay. And this fuel line problem doesn't seem to be really covered very well on the internet, so we thought we'd show it to you, so to see if we can throw any light on it. So let's take a closer look. Right, well, we're under the bonnet here of this Zafira, and although we've unclipped it, you can probably see this little disc thing here. Now this sits a bit lower down, and it's got a little hairline crack in it, and it was actually squirting fuel out on the side there. So we've just released it out of its two clips. So there's two retaining clips there, as you can probably see. And as we've brought it forward, as you can probably see, this side has got a hose connection on it, which is via clips, and this side is actually solid welded in to an actual fuel pipe which goes down there. And we've got the problem now of trying to sort of locate what this is. Now we've been online and we've not been able to find any real information. Someone says it's a fuel restrictor or something to improve the miles per gallon, but as I say, no one seems to know what this thing actually is. Now seeing as this one's damaged now, we're going to try and remove it now, and we're going to try and sort of bypass it and put some sort of fuel, maybe a fuel filter. I might have a spare fuel filter, so I might put that in here so we can see exactly what's happening. So we're going to get it off now, and then we'll take a closer look at it. Right, looking at this hose, this is a solid pipe, as you can probably see there. Look, there's no joint there on this thing, but this pipe goes right the way down behind the back of the engine, and we haven't got today obviously access to find out where the other end of that goes. So all I'm going to try and do for the moment is to chop this off here, because as you can see here, we've got these ridges on here, which are the sort of ridges you get like when you join a pipe together. So I'm going to have to remove this, but obviously I don't want to generate any heat, because this is an actual fuel line. So what I'm going to do, I've got one of these little cutters here. These are like little small pipe cutters. These are the type you get for doing brake lines and stuff like that. So I'm just going to sort of put that on there like that. Get it on there as near to that collet as I can. And I'm just going to sort of just do half a turn at a time and wind that round, because I just want to just cut through this pipe, obviously without generating any heat whatsoever. So that way I can then put some sort of temporary inline filter until we find out exactly, for one, what this thing is, and two, that if we need to change the whole pipe, if the pipe comes with this thing on. I'm not too sure. But I'm of the understanding, after looking online, the only thing I can find is one picture of this actual thing, and I know it's fitted to other Vauxhalls as well. There's sort of conflicting information in forums as to what this thing actually is and what it does. The general census of opinion seems to think that it's some sort of fuel flow restrictor thing, which I'm not too sure. But apparently there's nothing on Vauxhall's diagrams on what it actually is, so I'm aware of. We've not done much of a look anyway, but what we'll try and do is just literally at least cut this off for the moment. And this pipe appears to be made out of a brass by the looks of it. So let me just cut this off. Right, okay then. So this is it. And I can actually see, if I hold it up to the light, as you can probably see, it looks like it's just straight through tube there. So we'll try and remove it, take it apart, just see what's actually inside. And we'll put a temporary filter in here, just so that we can get the car going again, as I say, because it's New Year's Day. Right, okay then. Well, what I've done is I've filed away the edges. It looks like it's made of copper, but it's got some sort of a coating on it. So let's just open this up. I don't know if you can actually see, it's totally empty. This thing actually doesn't do a thing by the looks of it, so I can't really see how you can call that a fuel saving device or anything like that. It's actually an empty container. Can't see the point of it, don't know what it is. There's no information on the internet as to what it is. So we're just going to put a fuel filter in line as a temporary measure until we find out a bit more about the whole pipe that goes literally right down behind the back of the engine. We can't get to that yet. It's New Year's Day, everywhere's shut. So we're just going to replace this now with, as I say, a little bit of hose and a fuel filter. Right, okay, so I found basically this, well, it's not an old filter, it's a brand new filter which I'd had set aside for the Triumph Acclaim, but we've got another little bit of hose there which we've just had laying about, and we've also put some new Jubilee clips on. So all we're going to basically do is hopefully thread this over our pipe here. Right, so I've got that over that first bump there, and let's get that clip, or one of these clips rather. Oh, f***ing hell. Always remember to put your hose clips on before you push the pipe on. Still, all I'm going to do is just undo this one, slide it down, as it's easier to take the front one off. My dinner's inside waiting for me, full roast. So we just want to get the car going basically. I'm not saying this is going to be a permanent fix, as I say, but it's to get you out of trouble, because this is the sort of stuff we had to hand. But at least we know that that sort of empty box doesn't appear to do anything. Right, okay, that's that. So nearly done it again then, forgot to put the clip on. So we've got new clips here, as you can see. Right, what we're going to do now then, before we actually clip that back in, is just to start the car up, or to pressurise the system to make sure that this holds up to the pressure. So we're going to do that now. Right, so we just turn the car on first of all. Right, fuel's entered the actual gauge. Fuel's entered there now. I'm just checking now for leaks. Hold on, wait. Just turn it off for a minute. I've got a concern that this thing expanded. Yeah? Yeah. When we turned it on. In other words, the pressure might be too great for this plastic, you see what I'm saying? So I'm not happy with turning that on personally. Yeah? So all I can suggest is that we actually just join the pipe up with a bit of hose, as opposed to putting the fuel filter in line. This thing actually expanded, so there's a little lesson for you there. This here is obviously not man enough to take the pressure of this vehicle, so I'm going to actually take that out of line now, and we're just going to put a straightforward tube. So if I did leave that, I wouldn't trust it, because that could explode and then you'll have a whole fire situation, which is totally dangerous. So we're going to change that now. Right, okay then, let's show you. All we've done is we're literally just taking out a line, and as you can see there, I've just used the original piece of tube in there, because we know this is graded to the correct pressure of the vehicle, because this was already on there, and just connected it up to that that little stubby piece there using the Jubilee clips. And that way we know we've got the pipe work and everything's up to the required pressure that the vehicle was specified at. So we've taken out that little piece of pipe which I've put in, and also the fuel filter. So we're just going to turn it on now, and now check for leaks again. Right, so I'm just feeling around the pipe now for any leakages. There's no leakages there whatsoever from both ends of that pipe. So we can now start the vehicle. And yet again, I'm just having a little look around that joint to see if there's any leakage in fuel there. And there's no leakage whatsoever. So basically we've actually cured the fault by literally just cutting that thing out of circuit and eliminating it, and just connecting up the original piece of stubby pipe that was already connected to it onto that remaining pipe. Now that other pipe goes right behind the back of the engine and right down the back there, and I can't see the connector, so this will definitely get you out, or get us out of trouble. So at least we haven't got the leak anymore, and there's no danger of any fuel vapours entering the actual car, which it was doing. And at least this is a temporary fix, but ideally you really want to replace that whole pipe, I would imagine. So there you go. I don't know what this little thing is. I've done some research online, as I've said to you, and I've been in a couple of forums, and someone said that it possibly could be some sort of fuel restrictor, some sort of fuel balancer or something, which doesn't seem to be any case or whatever, because it's just an empty vessel, as you've probably seen. And someone actually said that they've been onto Vauxhall as well, and Vauxhall don't actually list this part at all. So I gather it covers quite a few models. It's not only the Vauxhall Zafira that's got this. Apparently the Vauxhall Vectra has it as well, and there may even be other Vauxhall models as well. So the only reason we've removed it, as I say, because there was some sort of perforation on it and it was leaking out fuel, and we've taken it basically out of line. And you see that the fuel system on our Zafira had quite a high pressure, and buying cheap inline filters, obviously that was going to be only a temporary measure anyway, but I didn't feel safe with that, and I wouldn't recommend that you go down that line. All we've done is literally removed it and then just joint the pipes back up together, and this doesn't appear to be doing anything, as I said to you. As you can see, it's just an empty vessel. I know we could see through it when we looked through it, but as I say, by actually peeling it back, there's actually nothing inside there whatsoever, so you can actually see now that that is the actual thing, and I'm sure that you'll recognise that if you've got one of these on your fuel lines. So if you do know what this is, don't forget to leave a message in the comments section below. It'd be very interesting, especially if you do work for Vauxhall as well, to find out what the purpose of this is. As I say, they don't appear to know anything about it or have it on any of their records, so I've read. That's not me making investigation, that is me just reading someone else's comments once they've investigated, and they actually had a mechanic who contacted Vauxhall who knew nothing about it. Okay then, hope you enjoyed this video, hope it was of some use to you. As I say, to find out exactly what this thing is or what it doesn't appear to do nothing. It's an empty vessel, looks like it's made out of copper and it's been plated, and that's what we've removed, and the car's back up and running because this was leaking. Okay, thanks very much, hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next video, and until then, bye for now.